And welcome to the M2 podcast. We're at episode, what are we at? 3 now?
Three.
Third for season 4. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm your host, Michael Anthony. My co-host, Mr. JK Heath, Kyle Heath. Sorry, my man. I'm struggling over here.
You nailed it, dude. You know,
A little bit lost.
listen.
But this is the show where we cover the esports and personalities, the gaming industry related news, new and upcoming games, and technology innovation. Pretty much we cover this week's review of the gaming industry and what's popping off. But before we get started, Kyle, what have you been up to the last week? Have you been playing any new games?
New games? Fortunately not. Smite?
But you've been back on Smite.
Yeah.
I know that. Let's
New
go.
patch, season 10 dropped this week. This game is a decade old, Mike. Can you believe that?
It is, isn't it?
Decade old. Crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so season 10 dropped this past week. Meta changed a little bit, but I've been enjoying it. Still a fun game, even with the changes, so... yeah,
that's good. You were trying to talk me into it the other day. I felt like,
yeah. I mean, hey man, I think it's a fun game. You know, a lot of people may not agree, but you know, I have fun on it. So, but yeah, I mean, I dig it. New patch has been pretty good, so it was good to dive back in. It's been a while since I feel like I even played a game, so it just felt good to game again. So, getting back in the swing of things in that regard. But yeah, trying to think. Other than that, for me this week, I saw episode 2 of Last of Us. It's fantastic.
nice. Yeah,
it's really good. Excited for 3. There's a lot of hype around 3 for the people that have seen it. They're like seriously hyping it up. I saw one claim, not even kidding, one claim that said it was the best television and like the best episode of television in recent history. So I'm like, okay, that's a bold claim. I don't know, it's a bold claim. So we'll see. But
that's nuts. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to that. But in terms of the gaming stuff, that's like all I really got around to this week, I think. What about you, Mike?
Dude, it's most of my time's been spent with Halo. Trying to coach the team a little bit when they're doing practice and stuff like that. Everybody's schedule's kind of wonky right now. Outside of that, playing that's for Halo Infinite I'm coaching, but I've been playing Halo 2. I've been trying to stream more. I don't know if you've been catching on to that, but like I'm trying to set this new habit, I think, because it's not a goal, it should be a habit of whenever I start playing a game, just go live.
Yeah.
It's like if I want to have more of a personality behind it, I'll turn on the webcam and I'll like have my face to it. But if I'm just like I'm just grinding to grind, it's like all right, let's just no cam, focus down, put on a little bit of music. People come in the chat, we'll talk to them. But you know what I mean?
Dude, yeah, I've been tuning in because it's been a good time. Because you have been like pretty consistent lately, which is awesome.
Yeah, I've been grinding like games here and there. Like I wanted to get on Overwatch a couple of times, but it just didn't pan out. My sleep schedule's all wonky and work's been holding me down the last like 2 weeks. So
unreal.
When I get on, I'm like, I'm just gonna get on something real quick, do maybe an hour or two of gaming, and then get off. So
getting it in though, nonetheless, you know. So
yeah, got to get on that single player stuff though. That's the new goal.
That's you and me both, you know. You and me both. Got some games coming out soon though that are piquing my interest, I must say.
Yeah, so. I know tomorrow at the time of this broadcast, when people hear it, is Dead Space, right?
Yeah, Dead Space remake. So it is arrived. So
it's on the rise.
I'll be seeing that. I want to see gameplay and stuff, see how it compares. So I'll be checking it out for sure.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Show.
Yeah, but before we get to the first article, which I know you want to dive into, I do want to give like a quick like memorial service almost for EU United. We're repping the brand. There's only one person at EU United now, and it's the CEO and founder, right? He is the founder, right?
I think so.
Pretty sure.
I think
so. Yeah, things are going south. The economy's rough. Angel investors, all this other kind of stuff that's going on. Orgs are looking like if they don't have orgs set up properly, or I don't know EU United's situation. They're a good org, in my opinion. But yeah, they laid off pretty much everybody, and there's only one person remaining.
Dude, I saw even SSG faced a layoff recently. I mean, it's just like every org is like, it's just the state of the economy. That's why we're seeing so many layoffs recently, but it all just it all can,
Mhm.
I think, points to one thing, and that's just current economy. So it's
Yeah,
just
interest rates,
unfortunate.
current economy, and all the other stuff that's going on. People don't want to borrow money or invest, and yeah, there's no other way to say it. Current economy, it's tough out here.
It's real tough, man. Yeah, it's yeah, scary stuff, but
Yeah. Well, no more downers. The first article I know you're excited to get into. It's
yes,
good news, and we're a big fan of events, basically.
we're a
So,
big
Kyle,
fan of
tell the
events.
people.
It's a good
Tell
way
the
of saying
people.
it. All right, Xbox. This is from Video Game Chronicle. I got this from Xbox confirms that it will return to LA with a summer showcase this year. The first physical E3 event is 4 years. Is set to take place in June alongside Summer Games Fest. They confirmed that it will return to Los Angeles. Summarizing its developer direct digital event, which we will cover a little bit later. That was just this week. The company wrote that, as we announced previously, in order to dedicate the proper amount of time for a deep dive into Bethesda Game Studios Starfield, a standalone show in the works. Um, in addition to this, our teams are working hard and look forward to sharing even more of what is next for our fans when we return to Los Angeles for our yearly showcase this summer. It goes a little bit about E3. Just days before the revamped E3 returns, Summer Games Fest, the digital showcase held by journalist Jeff Keighley, will hold a live show at the YouTube Theater in Hollywood Park in Inglewood. Neither E3 nor Summer Games Fest have yet announced which publishers will attend their events, but Xbox's announcement suggests it will likely have a presence in LA during the same window. Billing itself as the global fan celebration of what's next in video games, Summer Games Fest will return for its fourth year with a live kickoff show on Thursday, June 8th, 2023, less than a week before E3. Details of the E3's revamped 2023 format, which will separate business and consumer events split between 4 days in June, were revealed late last year. It's officially run from Tuesday, June 13th until Friday the 16th, according to the organizer, Reed Pop, which has taken over the running of the flagship industry event from the Entertainment Software Association, or the ESA. So yeah, we got a couple events coming up. We got some dates to mark in the calendar. But yeah, it seems to be. It kind of puts like the Xbox event in a weird place because it's like, are they going to affiliate with one of these events, or are they just going to try and do their own thing? It's kind of hard to tell. I think at the moment.
I think they should. They, yeah, we have no real announcement yet, but I hope they're involved in both of them. Because like the
Yeah,
showcase has basically been holding us together, at least you and I together for this last 2 years. We've been
yeah,
missing out on a lot of E3 stuff because it's been canceled. So to have E3 just back in general and doing these live events and then having everybody come in, I want to see them thrive. It's just tough, man, because some like publishers are gonna have to pick and choose where they want to actually reveal their top games.
yeah. Very true. Um, yeah. I mean, there's just so many options now, so it's like it makes me wonder how long this would last with the amount of like options we have, and if it'll actually be like competitive enough to like keep both events alive, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Very interested to see how they're gonna break it up. I don't know. I think there's enough stuff out there. I think there's room for two, kind of thing. But um, it just all comes down to how they execute it, and it's got me really curious as to how it's gonna go. But we'll know more once in the coming months whenever they start announcing like who's gonna be where and all that. I mean, probably like if I had to guess, like May's probably where we're gonna probably find out everything. If
Yeah.
not a little bit before then, maybe. But yeah, we
The
said. I mean, it seems like June seems like a while away, but I mean, I feel like before we know it, we're gonna be covering it. So it's just crazy.
that that's a fact. Last year went by so quick for us. Remember
Yeah.
that we were like, "Holy crap! It's already Summer Games Fest." It's like, "Holy crap! It's already Thanksgiving, Black Friday deals." It's like it
Yeah,
goes, man. It goes
yeah,
real quick when you're busy.
it does.
Um,
And it's like I don't know. I think
so
the fact that we recap every week and like we do these things, I don't know why. It just
mhm.
seems like I guess we just constantly have something to do, so it just goes by quick.
Yeah, that's why we do the show, though. We get to chronicleize it, like keep coming back and doing references. Um,
Yeah,
So one of the things we didn't get to is like, so the revamped format here is apparently 2 days. For June 13th and 14th will be reserved exclusively for the businesses. And then the third day is for business and consumer visitors. And then the final day will be dedicated to consumers. So I wonder how that's going to work. Exclusively for businesses. It sounds like they're trying to turn E3 more into a an industry conference.
yeah. Which I
Like,
think I feel like it kind of used to be. just a solid mix of that before.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not sure because I know like especially for like businesses they would do like they would do like or it's like the month before they would bring in a bunch of like press to like preview everything and kind of I
Right.
guess
Yeah.
give their awards for best at show and stuff like that. They always did that like way in advance. So um yeah, I mean I don't know if they're gonna do something like that this year or if those 2 dedicated days or for that specifically. I mean, when that kickoff show is going to happen too, I don't know if it's going to be one of the days the businesses get, or if it's going to be the consumer day or something. I would assume that it's probably going to be like first day, like regardless. But there's a lot of questions right now about how this is going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's probably time for a change anyway, because not just the market, but all these other events that are going on year round and like who they're geared for. So there's like even regional showcases similar to E3. Carolina, North and South Carolina has the Carolina Game Summit, and that those are like all indie devs that show up.
Yeah.
Um, they do that once a year. I think it's coming up in like it might be coming up in February. They do it early.
Oh
So
man. Well,
yeah, these are things that you got to kind of consider, I guess. So E3 going maybe into a conference for businesses in the first few days, and then like, okay, let's go talk to the consumers and try to sell our products, kind of thing.
yeah.
It'd be kind of cool to see.
Yeah, for sure. Got a lot of questions, but it seems like there's a lot of it seems like devs have options now about who they want to go with, unless they're like already on a
Um,
predefined contract. So be curious to see what happens.
it's a fact. Yes, sir.
It's a fact.
All right, so moving on to the next article. This is one that I found off of Bloomberg. So the U.S. filed Microsoft-Activision suit um, to the head off. Wait, sorry. U.S. filed Microsoft-Activision suit to head off EU settlement. So basically, this goes off of the article that we covered last week with how the European Union settlement are issuing one a review on their monetary practices, but also trying to get ahead of their judgment call on what the Activision Blizzard takeover is going to be like by Microsoft. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about that? Like EU was basically on track to finish their, I guess, their suit, their judgment and file case before the FTC was. So it's like, what's going to
Yeah.
happen if the EU finished before the FTC? How does that really work out when Microsoft and Activision Blizzard's headquarters are in the United States and FTC's predominantly the like is literally the United States.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this article is by Leah Nyland, Bloomberg again. So the U.S. Federal Trade Commission filed its lawsuit to block Microsoft's $69 billion takeover of gaming company Activision Blizzard in December, partly to get ahead of the European counterparts and dissuade them from accepting a settlement allowing the deal, according to people familiar with the investigation. The FTC filed a complaint challenging the merger on December 8th, hours after a call between US and EU officials about their respective probes, said one of the people, who asked not to be identified because the discussions were confidential. Always good to see. Confidential leak in information.
Yeah.
So the EU officials indicated on the call they intended to begin talks with Microsoft about potential remedies. So that prompted the FTC to file its case the same day to send a strong signal to EU Competition Commissioner Margaret Vestager. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that, and her staff. And even though technically the commission wouldn't entertain remedy proposals for the companies until later in the process. So, a remedy proposal is basically Microsoft's trying to buy Activision Blizzard. That can, there's like a monopoly potential issue here. We're controlling too much of the market. So, a remedy proposal or potential remedies in that situation would try to do whatever they can to make the EU officials and the FTC okay with it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Microsoft is going to go with whichever one's more lenient and more in their favor.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
then
obviously.
when they do that as quickly as possible and then go to the other commission and be like, listen, the EU already approved it. Like, I think that's what's going on here. What's your take on this, Kyle?
I mean, no, I agree. I think the way they go about it, it's gonna be if they get someone to approve, it's gonna be clear and obvious leverage against the other parties. So It's I mean, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's ultimately, what deal can they get that's better? And then they're gonna be like, hey, well, they approved it, so I don't know what the holdup is here. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is a good point, okay, and then they prove it, but yeah, it's a weird situation. I'm sure there's a lot of devil in the details, and of course you don't know everything, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it all depends on if it's actually going to be easy for them to actually try and work out a deal because we don't know
Yeah.
any of the complexities. I feel like so
Oh, well, they're probably keeping a little hush hush too, just because it's a it's not a private business suit, but it's definitely like obviously this much money involved and this big like worldwide implications on the economy and the overall market. They're gonna try to dot their T or like dot their I's, cross their T's kind of thing.
yeah,
But scrolling through this article a little bit further, we have one about the Microsoft-Activision takeover. Apparently requires approval from 16 jurisdictions. 16. So that's with the United States FTC, the UK's Competition and Markets Authority, and the European Commission representing the biggest hurdles. The three international agencies have been in close contact on the deal since it was announced in January 2022. Which, I mean, they got to do that.
yeah.
So a little bit further down, it talks about how Microsoft intends to propose a global remedy package to EU competition officials that would guarantee Sony Group's Sony PlayStation would continue to have access to the popular Call of Duty game for the next 10 years. Sony has so far rebuffed Microsoft offers. The Xbox maker has also entered into a deal to bring the game to Nintendo and allow it to be sold by Valve Corp's PC gaming platform Steam. And if EU officials accepted that remedy, which would apply globally, it could potentially undermine cases brought in the US or UK. So, I don't know. Let me ask you this, Kyle. Do you think Call of Duty is this big of a franchise to be the hurdle for Microsoft to acquire Activision Blizzard?
I mean, if you would have asked me a year ago, I'd probably be like no. But like now that there's been this much pushback, and according to what we're reading, it seems like Call of Duty is the main proponent, and it's what they're proposing the remedy to be. Is okay, like we need to do something to make Call of Duty like the most accessible as possible for at least the short term. Like I think it probably is like a major factor if this is what if it keeps getting brought up and this is what we keep seeing, then I can only presume now that Call of Duty is probably one of the main contingencies here. But I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff, but I mean Call of Duty is a big IP. I mean, is it?
Yeah.
It's I guess it shouldn't be surprising, but like at the same time, I mean, what we've talked about so much is like King, the mobile group that is also under the Activision banner, as a huge like market share. I feel like in this deal that people just don't like, that we just haven't really heard much about. So it's got me a little concerned. I mean, the mobile market certainly is where a lot of money comes from, especially in the gaming industry these days. So I'm almost surprised we don't hear more about that side of it. But then again, I mean, they're probably not ripping apps off of Android or iOS. So that's
True.
that's
Yeah.
probably why we don't hear anything about that, because it really wouldn't affect the mobile market, I don't think, especially for the main providers. So yeah, it's
Yeah, that's a good
I don't
point.
know, it's crazy.
Yeah, maybe something's going on with Sony, like because they have internal metrics and numbers, right? Of like not who owns a console, but like how many consoles are connected to their live network. They can get that readily. Like right now, they probably have the number, and then they can find out exactly how many of those are playing Call of Duty. It must be a staggering percentage
Yeah,
for Sony to basically like even a 10-year deal where it's guaranteed for 10 years that Call of Duty will be on PlayStation, they're still saying no. Even Phil Spencer coming out and just like, we have no interest of keeping IPs off of games or game
yeah,
consoles.
yeah,
If anything, they're trying to put it on more platforms, selling it to Valve, putting it on Nintendo for the first time.
yeah.
So it's tough to say what's going to happen, but As is customary, we'll keep people updated.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm interested to see what happens, and by the time April comes around, because that's when they're supposed to, that's the deadline for um for the UK to actually make a decision, I think, on this. So
Yeah,
it's like ultimately that's going to be a huge factor in how things move forward, and it's not that far away. I mean, we're almost in February, so
yeah.
oh, pretty
April
soon.
26th.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, Mike,
Oh yeah.
do you want to talk about the day before?
I want to hear you talk about the day before because you're the one that mentioned this game and I
No.
missed it. So fill me in.
Yeah, so the day before, the upcoming MMO has been delayed for 8 months over alleged trademark issues. Is one of the most heavily wishlisted MMOs. Is now planned to release in November of this year. It's an upcoming MMO that is currently the second most wishlisted game on Steam, and it got delayed for 8 months. So,
Jeez.
a lot of demand for this game. Um, yeah, developer Fantastic. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, it
Um,
is.
yeah, posted a statement on Twitter today. And today being the 25th, which was Wednesday, claiming that Steam blocked our game page at the request of a private individual because of the name the day before. Um, Fantastic says it wasn't aware of the existence of claims until January 19th when it received a complaint from the individual. The statement came hours after the studio said that the day before's Steam page had disappeared due to a minor technical difficulty. The statement goes on to claim that when the day before was announced in 2021, the title's trademark was still available and was then secured by the private individual before Fnatic could trademark it. Um,
Wow.
Rough.
Well,
According to the U.S. Patent and Trading Office document, Fantastic links to in its statement the application to register the day before as a trademark was filed in June 2021, 5 months after the game's announcement. Fantastic statement adds that due to the ongoing issue, a lengthy gameplay video that has been promised for some time has also been delayed, and then the game, which was planned to release on March 1st, will now be released on November 10th, 2023. Um, a huge delay there. Um, the day before is an open world MMO survival set in a deadly post pandemic America overrun by flesh hungry infected and survivors killing each other for food, according to the currently inactive Steam page. Fantastic says that the game has been in development for over 4 years, though the studio attracted criticism when it emerged that the game is being largely developed by volunteers. It's also
uh-oh.
it's also been it's also been alleged by many following the game that ripped assets from the several other titles can be spotted in the short gameplay clips the team has posted. It's a little bit of hot water with this game, but yeah, it was kind of weird. I mean, I saw a bunch of stuff coming out about like, oh, like day before's running. They said they claimed it was a minor technical difficulty, and that's why the page was down. But then it came out that it was actually like copyright related, and then all of a sudden they're like, we're delaying the game, which I guess many people probably link to like, oh, just because of this copyright issue, they have to delay it 8 months. But I mean, if you delay a game 8 months, I feel like there's a lot more involved than just a copyright problem. I'm not a copyright attorney, but that just doesn't seem reasonable that they'd have to take 8 months. But yeah, kind of a crazy situation. Like,
I have so many opinions, man. Like the first and foremost, it's like how do you not trademark the game before naming the game like publicly?
right? It's a
Maybe
good
maybe they
question.
were maybe they weren't settled on the game. Okay, we'll let that slide, right? We'll let it slide. It's no big deal. Um, but like a year later, you're now finding out about it.
Yeah. How does this not hit your desk immediately? You know what I mean?
Not
Like,
even just immediately. It's just like how do you not check? Like I understand not doing it, right? But it's like
yeah,
you've done all the branding. Who knows if they're selling like actual physical copies? Maybe that's why it's taken 8 months, but nobody really buys physical copies anymore.
I don't think so.
But you know what? Like back in the day, if you made an error in like your labeling, they would have to recall everything and put new labels on it.
Yeah,
And
pretty much.
that would take months, but I'm on board with you. 8 months to fix the name and rebrand it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. At that point, just change the name if it's gonna take that long. You know what I mean? Unless you're like hell bent on it. But I don't know. there's definitely more involved. The game is probably not done yet, even though it's what 4 years in development. Like,
Yeah.
jeez. Um,
You know what I
yeah.
would rename it to?
Let me hear it.
Yesterday.
There you go.
The day before.
Day before.
What's the
Yesterday.
day before?
It's
Today. What's
yesterday,
the day before?
dude.
Yeah, yesterday. It's like
Yeah.
that actually, side note, you know the band Falling in Reverse?
Yes.
I I saw a Reddit or like a meme or something like that, and it's one of those classic like smoke too much kind of things. And
Oh
they're
yeah.
just like falling in reverse, like standing up. It's like going out of your way to like try to sound edgy or
Yeah,
like
right.
cool or something the day before. But I will say, hey, like let's not bash the game completely. Footage that they posted on Twitter, some of the stuff that they have leaked, it actually looks like a cool game.
Yeah. I
So
mean, it sounds like a
it
cool
looks
game.
clean.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's an MMO, right? So I mean,
of course.
there are so many people on this planet that want a good MMO. You know, you can't deny it. You know. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, hey, if I had an MMO that was easy enough to just hop on every now and again and play, like I'd probably do it. You know.
yeah,
Um,
facts.
but yeah, there's I mean, I'll be curious to see what comes of this game. You know, if anything happens between now and November to further add some oddity to this release, but it's certainly a weird one, I have to say.
Ain't nothing wrong with that though.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
All right, shall we move on to the next one then?
We have an important showcase to talk about.
We do, and I'm very excited to talk about it.
Cool.
So, this is an article from The Verge. Did you get a chance by did you get a chance to watch the Activision or sorry, not Activision. I'm so used to talking Activision. Xbox and Bethesda little developer showcase?
When was that? Is that today?
That was today, sir.
Talking about this one?
Oh yeah.
I didn't get a chance to watch it, I'll be honest. Had a pretty busy day, but just
Well,
looking at the chapters of the actual video, it seems like they went pretty in depth with what they talked about today.
oh yeah, let's get into it. So, The Verge said how to watch today's Xbox Developer Direct Showcase. So you can tune in on Twitch, YouTube, and get the latest news on the games from Xbox first-party studios. So today, Xbox and Bethesda. This is, I guess, this is past tense. I guess. They did their first developer showcase of 2023, where they basically broke down Redfall, Forza Motorsport. There was several other ones. Let me pull it up. So they broke down Minecraft Legends, which was a story-driven PvP mode, which was pretty cool. The
Mm,
idea is like you build your own base and you create like a little mini army, and then you go and attack somebody else's base. You can work together in essentially like combat teams. It reminded me of an RTS game in a way.
kind of, yeah, it sounds like one.
But it really was. It was like an RTS game. You build up like an entire barrier. You set traps within your own like base camp and castle or whatever you want to call it. And it was really cool to watch. The next one that they showcased was Forza Motorsport, and my holy crap, dude. That game, okay, I'm a big race fan. I love racing in general, Formula
Mm.
1, NASCAR even. We live in Charlotte, dude. Or I live in Charlotte. Home of NASCAR. I
Mm.
like things that go round. So, it's a good time, man. So Forza Motorsport is right up my alley, and this new Forza Motorsport might be one of the best games I've ever seen,
Dang.
and the hype that they're putting into it about like a level of detail they're gonna have in, like they somehow found a way to mimic aerodynamics within the game so that when you're driving over like debris on the track or you go slightly off the track into dirt, the dirt will accumulate and negatively pressurize points on the car. So in the video that you got
Gosh.
showcased, and they're actually talking about it. Um, it's crazy.
That's
And
insane detail.
yeah, and like it's a racing sim, so you should know how it's going to play. The other cool thing, which is, I think Chase Combs might be talking about it, that one of the developers is he's the sound engineer, and they found a way to perfect how the cars sound. So if you like, as you upgrade your vehicle and you add different engines, different components, it changes the way your car sounds. It gives it a more unique sound, which is wild.
Man, this
Dude,
is
I'm
insane.
so excited. I'm
That's
so
pretty
excited
crazy.
for it.
Yeah.
The other one that they talked about was Hi-Fi Rush. Not really a game for me. It looks more similar to like a cartoonish slasher in a way. I don't know how to really describe it. It's like story-driven stuff,
Yeah.
and it's not my cup of tea, but it's available right now on Game Pass.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think I saw people like talking about it on Twitter. So
Yeah,
yeah, very
yeah.
cool.
Very awesome. They also talked for about like 4 5 minutes about the Elder Scrolls Online. They're pushing a new update. That looks pretty cool too. Overall, they were trying to just showcase the Elder Scrolls community, the developers, and the overall story of like I guess culture community that they got going on there. It looks it looks pretty cool. Are you big into Elder Scrolls?
Yeah, it's one of the one Bethesda like series I've never gotten into, and it's like one of
Yeah.
those like I haven't even played Skyrim maybe for like 5 minutes, but like the main reason of that is like one day I'm just gonna be like, all right, it's time to get into Skyrim, and then I know I'm gonna be like just down that hole for a while. So it's like, and so I'm like, I want to get like good time into that game, but it's like I know the second
Oh,
I play, I'm probably gonna be like, well, I'm playing to the end. Let's go.
yeah, dude. I know exactly what you mean by that. When you have a game that you know so much about and you're just like, "Man, if I play it like for 5 minutes, I'm all in."
Yeah,
That kind of thing.
saying.
Like for me, BioShock. I've never played BioShock. I know
Yeah.
all about it. I know the story, but I know if I play like the first episode of BioShock, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like you're
It's
not going to see
good.
me for like a month.
It's good, man. I beat 1 and 2. I don't think I ever got around to finishing, Infinite, BioShock Infinite, but, I mean, 1 and 2 is
I,
pretty
I
good.
I heard it has a nice twist and it's pretty good.
That's what I heard
Um,
too. I just never, like, finished it, so shame on me.
Got to get to it. Back to the story driven stuff, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Uh, Anyways, let's get back into one of the main titles coming to Xbox. Probably 2023 is going to be a heavy hitter. Should be Redfall. Redfall is essentially uh, I like to view it as Left 4 Dead, but with vampires.
Yeah. It's pretty accurate, I'd say.
That's the vibe it's giving me. A lot of the things that they're talking about, just the way the gameplay looks, and it looks cool, man.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
totally down to do some Van Helsing stuff.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's, like, abilities. I'm pretty sure it's, like, 4-player co-op up to. It's kinda like a
It
and
is,
just one
yeah.
people, yeah, it's,
4 players.
yeah, each character has their own abilities, and his gun combat looks great. I'm pretty sure it's I want to say it's like id was working on it. It looks like a very like id FPS type of
Yeah,
game.
yeah, it
Um,
is.
yeah,
I'm gonna pull up a little bit of a profile of Redfall real quick.
yeah. I mean, this is a game that's coming out in May too. It's pretty close.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah, it's
um,
very close. It looks like a finished product
yeah,
from what they showed.
yeah. I'm pretty sure it got delayed. I think it was supposed to come out like February, but like they ended up delaying it. I think, if I remember correctly. Um,
It
but yeah,
it was announced in June 13, 2021. Um,
that's
it
2021.
was
Oh my
it
gosh.
was delayed. It was announced that it was delayed in May 12th, 2022, to the first half of 2023, and on January 25th, which was yesterday, Arcane Austin, which is Arcane Studios, Bethesda Studios, announced that Redfall would be released May 2nd, 2023. Let me go ahead and
Pretty
read this off
close.
real quick for people that aren't familiar. Redfall is an upcoming first-person shooter video game developed by Arcane Studios and published by Bethesda, and the game is set to release by Microsoft Windows. So the gameplay is open-world first-person shooter, and it does both single-player and cooperative multiplayer. Players can choose amongst 4 characters, each with unique backgrounds and abilities, to fight against vampires as well as human enemies within the game. And they go into it. There's a decent like progression system in this game where if you're doing co-op, you really want to work together. Like one person needs to fulfill a certain role
Yeah.
and do certain attributes or have certain attributes to do certain things to help everybody all together. And
Right. Yeah.
it was looking good. I was nervous about the boss battles. So like I think it's you play Destiny 2. You know when you get into this like you have to fight through hordes and then you get to like a mega boss kind of thing? Well, there's like super vampires, which are called vampire gods in this game. And I assume it's probably going off like the original concept of vampires where the oldest one is the most powerful and the first vampire is always the strongest ever
Yeah.
because he traded all the other vampires, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I think that's what the vampire gods are, being immortal, being the first ones. But that's just a theory. I'm hoping that's correct. But how do you feel about the game? How do you feel about all these games?
I mean, yeah. I mean, all these games seem like doing big things. Yeah. I mean, Redfall in particular, I'm really excited for, especially like the 4-player like co-op part. That's always fun to have like more people on like an FPS. So I mean, yeah, the whole abilities and stuff looks very interesting. I'm pretty sure it's on Game Pass. I'm checking this out. That's out.
It is. Yeah, it will
So,
be.
yeah, very excited for that. I mean, dude, but I must say, like, I'm not a huge fan of racing games in particular, but like those Forza updates sound nuts. Like you're talking about dirt on
Yeah.
cars and like the tuning,
Yeah.
like the audio engineering being insane. It's like, yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, before we leave the car sim stuff, true like car simulator racing, like the main thing that people like to focus on is iRacing.
Yeah,
That's more of like esports level stuff because it's like almost true racing in a sense.
yeah,
Forza, Gran Turismo, those kind of games are more of like for the consumer aesthetically pleasing, but they're
yeah.
more and more going into that aspect of like becoming an esport more, if that makes sense. They're like going
Interesting.
further and further into iRacing. Like Gran Turismo, if you make like you get wear and tear on your tires where you'll start losing handling if you hit something and you wreck. That's damage you have to carry on throughout the race. Some of the tracks and the races can last like 20, 30 minutes,
Oh
maybe
gosh.
45 to an hour. It just depends on how long the track is, how many hours you set. So
Yeah,
Forza seems to be that Apex or that not Apex, the Xbox version of Gran Turismo that will rival PlayStation's basically chokehold on the aesthetically pleasing car simulator, you know?
yeah.
So we'll see how it like how it actually launches because Forza Horizon 5 launched and multiplayer was not working properly, like at all.
Yeah. I think I remember that.
Ser-
Rough.
servers were booty cheeks, like all Microsoft game servers.
They
So
are but that's funny. Crazy stuff, man. Um, yeah, Starfield. Yeah, there's apparently yeah, they included a live stream announcement that's planning for Starfield to have its own showcase at a later date. So nothing on Starfield, unfortunately, today, but it's coming, and I'm very excited for that. I'm gonna watch
yeah.
it for sure. This is
Oh,
dude,
I
I want that
dude,
Starfield, baby. I want that
have
Starfield.
let's talk about Halo real quick. Have you noticed Microsoft is slowly phasing Halo branding away from the Xbox?
Yeah,
Have you seen that? Like Xbox
yeah,
branding, more and more the last year hasn't been showing Master Chief,
yeah.
hasn't been showing the Halo symbol or logo.
No.
And they're like, "Hey, by the way, we got like Forza over here," and they're like sliding it towards you at the table,
Yeah,
like just passing it. And now
yeah,
they're like, "Okay, Redfall, here you go.
yeah.
Oh, by the way, Starfield, please be
You like
successful."
Bethesda titles? There you go.
Yeah, 100%. Just wait until Activision comes out and they're just like, Overwatch 3.
Yeah, right. You like Overwatch, and do you like I don't know,
Candy Crush.
WoW? You like Candy Crush, dude? Ever heard of a little IP called Starfield?
We'll find out. But yeah, that's basically what's been going on with the Xbox Developer Direct showcase. I'm into it. I like the Nintendo Direct, so it's good to see Xbox following suit.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. I'm excited to hear more stuff. Excited for Xbox. Maybe the Activision deal goes through and we see StarCraft 5. I don't know, dude. You never know, Mike, you know?
Just be successful. That's all I want. Just finish the game and launch it without broken bugs and all the other crap.
That's what I'm saying. Do you have some good news to talk about them, Mike?
Yeah, we do.
It's
This
about
is
Twitch.
crazy. I didn't think they'd ever do anything right. When you sent me this link, I was like, I had to check it. I thought this was the Onion.
Yo, this guy's got jokes.
I got more lines than a
Okay.
sheet of paper.
All right, Twitch, ladies and gentlemen, is going to make pre-roll ads way less annoying. Twitch is also adding a bunch of features for streamers and sharing what it's working on for creators in 2023 and beyond. Twitch was sharing a roadmap of its full features they're working on for 2023 this year. Among these changes are changes to the way ads run, new first-party tools to help with chat engagement, and tools to help streamers manage their brand deals. But the biggest, and I agree with this, is making pre-roll ads less annoying, which I think is probably what caught in most people's eyes when they read this. This is an open letter from the CPO and the CMO, Twitch, Tom and Mike, respectively. Mike Minton. Not Mad Mike, which is unfortunate, I was hoping.
Yeah, no, I rule with an iron fist.
They said in the first half of this year, we're making 2 changes to improve the way ads work for viewers and channels. First, we're updating the way disabling pre-roll works for channels. Running 3 minutes of ads per hour in any way will disable all pre-rolls. They no longer have to be split into 90-second ads every 30 minutes, or every 30 minutes. Secondly, we're applying our picture-by-picture experience to the majority of pre-rolls that viewers do see.
Thank you.
Dude, that I read that sentence and I was like, yes! Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing, is like, the pre-roll does not stop the broadcast. Like, because you join a stream and you want to chat, it's like you're just waiting there 30 seconds. Or like your friend's like, yo, check out the stream, dude, he's doing something insane. And you click on it, you're just like, give me 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds. And you're just like antsy. Yeah. And it just makes you want to click off.
Can I talk about that, by the way, in general?
Go for it.
Have you ever used cable? Do you have cable? When was the last time you used cable with a DVR? You know what I'm talking about here?
DVR? Yeah. I mean, I have YouTube TV, so that's the...
Okay. I haven't used YouTube TV, but I'm going to make... here's what goes on with cable for me with DVR. I got Spectrum here. It's trash. Shout out Spectrum. When you pause cable, like I can like get up and just pause it, and I'm good, right? And then I come back, I'll hit pause again. It starts off where I left, right?
Yeah.
We're good. The advertisements come in, and I'm like, no, man, I don't need these commercials. I fast forward through because I walked away earlier.
Yeah.
And it knows that I'm behind, so it buffered everything. Twitch doesn't do that. You pause Twitch and unpause it, dude. It just like jumps you to the live, man.
Yeah.
It always does that. So when I get hit with an advertisement, can I just like, when the advertisement's done, can I just go back to what I was watching right when it happens?
Yeah.
Like, why is that not a thing? That happens on YouTube.
That is the biggest difference between YouTube and Twitch streaming, is you can actually go back on YouTube streams, and I've done it so many times. Yeah. Just to like, especially if it's like a show or something like that, I'm just like, oh dude, I'll go back. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll pause it because I'm like, whatever. Like, they're probably gonna do a break at some point anyway, so I could just, like right through the break.
That's a fact. And this also helps out the streamer if they have the same exact system as YouTube. Or just like community members, right? You and I will have like a stream up. One of our friends will be watching their stream, but we're at work, and we'll use like a podcast. We'll walk away and we're just like, oh crap, did I miss anything? What do? We have to click on the icon. Then we have to go to the video tab. Then we have to click on recent broadcasts. Hopefully they have the recent broadcasts actually like published and available. And then we have to use the little and like drag it and try to guess where it was.
Yeah.
Do you know how many steps that is? Do you know how much love we have to have for the streamer to do that?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that for just anybody. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, that's an important feature to mention, I think. I think in most use cases, like most streamers, the only argument I'll like put up is that most streamers, it's very much like in the moment, like is all that really matters. So like if you're going back like, 5 minutes or something like that, it's probably irrelevant content anyway at that point. So like there's no reason to do it. But like I watch like I'll watch like properly like choreographed shows and stuff like on YouTube that are streamed on like a daily basis or like, every so often. And it's nice to just be like, because like there's some shows they'll do their breaks or they'll do like an ad read or something. And so it's like when they do stuff like that, you can just be like, oh, okay, cool. Like I'm already 10 minutes behind. Let me just skip a minute and then, I'll be right back where I was. And eventually after enough breaks, you catch up and it's like, whatever. Unless you're engaging with chat actively, I think it's a great feature to have. So yeah, it's kind of weird Twitch doesn't do that, but who knows? Maybe one day they'll implement something like that. But the way I see it, there's not enough like proper shows on Twitch to like warrant that kind of like R&D right now. So that's probably why they don't do it.
But it's not even research and development, it's just development.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's a
You
good
know what I
point.
mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's not new. It exists
Yeah.
and has existed for 10 plus years when DVR and cable was a thing.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
So I don't know. I don't think there's really much of an excuse not to have it, but we gotta give props, right? I don't wanna crap on Twitch too much here, but we gotta give props because you and I have felt that they haven't really made any significant improvements over the last couple of years. And
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
advertisement changes are really doing something here. And I
Yeah.
think this is good.
Yeah. There's still more to cover, Mike.
I know.
So
Keep
pre-roll ads
going.
had been a consistent pain point for streamers and viewers. If you click on an interesting channel while browsing Twitch, there can be anywhere up to 3 minutes of ads to sit through before you get to even see the stream. A picture-by-picture solution seems to be a decent compromise, as that at least allows a viewer to see the content there that interested them up front without an ad wall while Twitch gets its designated ad time in. Twitch is also experimenting, with ways to give viewers a heads up that ads are on the way during streams, and that might even include a snooze option for mid-roll ads. So, or a kind of choice there. It seems like for the viewer across ads. They're also working on special assets streamers can use for sponsorship deals. They said, quote, we'll test features with a select few streamers to make sponsorship deals more effective and authentic on Twitch, thereby making them more lucrative for the streamer and more impactful for the brand. Starting with channel skins and clickable branded graphics, streamers can easily place these brand assets onto streams, above chat, and other places on their channel page for a less disruptive and more engaging sponsorship experience. I like this idea. I don't mind it. Like, I
I
think for
like
the
it
most
too.
part, like, especially if you're doing like a branded thing, you can just have like an outline or something on the Theo player. So I really like this idea.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the improvements that they have to make. Um, it's been really cumbersome to try to make clips into vertical format. You would have to take the quick snip link and then move it over to an entire third party website. But this thing is pretty sick. You can do it all in one location now.
Oh, you just said it. You just said it. They said later on in that article that we're launching tools to help you edit and export your clips for vertical short form video formats and making it easier to promote your stream on other platforms by working with Twitter to improve how clips and live stream links play in the feed.
Oh my
So they're working
gosh.
with other companies to like, this is a miracle. Like, we're working together out here. Synergy. Twitch is working with other brands to help streamers promote their stuff, which is very oddly ironic because for the longest time they didn't want partner
Didn't
streamers
do that.
streaming anywhere. Like, dude, like it's crazy, right?
Exactly. So
Oh,
somebody got in charge. They were like, "We're gonna die if we don't adapt."
exactly. They're learning their ways, dude, and you gotta love it. Um,
That's so awesome. So let me mention something that a lot of people wouldn't know.
yeah.
Twitter and their videos that they do, they compress it so bad that you can't see anything. So if you've ever watched Twitter, it's like the first what 5 6 seconds in a
Yeah.
video is basically from 1985.
It's like
So
2P,
like
bro.
it's so bad. It's like 160p, and then it goes to like 720 or
Yeah.
1080. So hopefully they can figure that out,
Yeah.
and we don't have to have that issue anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It says Twitch will launch tools to help streamers edit and export clips from VODs that are optimized for vertical short form format. Streamers will also be able to pin up to 20 clips to a channel page, add emotes into stream titles, and even enable a new sound bites feature for viewers. Sound bites are sound alerts triggered by viewers, much like how OBS and other third party tools allow streamers to offer these with channel points. Twitch's own implementation will see viewers paying to set off sounds and a new method to monetize channels further. Very interesting. I don't it's kind of weird because like they have to be very particular on how they do this, I think. Um and it's like I cuz I love the sound bites thing of like paying bits and doing that. I think that's like really clever. And like Twitch already gets a cut of that, so it's like because they get these standard like sound bites. Well, they get the standard bit compensation obviously. But it's like I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I guess they do definitely want to monetize, but it's like yeah, it's just kind of wild, you know. Don't fully I don't fully know how this is gonna go for Twitch. To be honest. Um anyways, to go a little further into the article, there's not too much actually left. To help users keep track of the many changes potentially coming to Twitch, the platform will introduce an experiments page that'll let creators and viewers know the kinds of projects Twitch is working on. For now, Twitch says it will make more announcements in the future as the changes go live. They also said they reviewed the platform's 2022. Among the milestones was the lowering of the payment threshold from 100 to 50, which they did, launching its guest star tool, which allowed easier built-in way for streamers to collaborate, which, to be honest, I don't think I've seen much of. Like the
I
guest
haven't
star,
seen much
like
either.
I mean, it's a
That's a
cool
good
tool,
point.
but I don't know. I haven't really seen it much.
I've yet to see it in action, but it is a pretty cool tool. I think it'd be great. Honestly, it'd probably be great for something like us doing podcasts in video
Yeah,
format.
yeah, maybe something to
Um,
look into. I think for us at some point, but yeah, I mean the payout thing's huge though. Going from 100 to 50, a lot more
dude,
people are
yeah,
going to be able to actually see money a lot faster. So it's good for
yeah,
smaller streamers.
that's seriously like that. I feel like that's significant. Like a $50 difference isn't. It really shouldn't make or break your bank, but it kind of shows that I think Twitch is in a good place financially because every time they do one of those transactions, it probably costs them some type of money on the back end. Maybe they're charging to be paid out.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I like the idea of Twitch being a little more transparent too about how they're progressing on some of these changes, and some of the features.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, very interesting there.
Is this is it safe to say that Twitch is finally listening to the community?
Yeah, I mean, I say so. I mean, there's certainly there's some options that are a little kind of oddball, but I mean, I think being able to share clips much quicker, do the vertical format stuff, and like actually making ads like tolerable, I think is huge, especially for that platform if they want to keep new viewers and stuff. So they're definitely in the right direction.
Yeah. Dude, I think the biggest news out of this is one for me for a viewer standpoint is the advertising switch,
Yeah,
making it so picture in picture. That alone, like I love it.
yeah,
Straight up.
oh
I
yeah,
think it's great. And then just the vertical format, exporting clips, not having to use third parties anymore. And they're also trying to implement these interactive sound bites to really keep your chat involved because some people don't like talking in chat, but they will redeem points to kind of troll you.
yeah,
Like it lets you know it's just like, hey, I'm watching. You got an audience. It makes it more exciting. So I think it's good. I think it's a good. These are good additions.
yeah. Good on you, Twitch. Heading in the right direction, man.
Finally,
Finally, dude. Finally, man. Well, we have one more article, Mike.
we do. We certainly do. So this next one's pretty intense, I think. Uh, so this is from The Verge, and it is by Tom Warren, who I feel like we've covered Tom Warren so much.
One of the senior
Like
editors.
his articles,
He,
yeah,
he he's the man.
he is the
Dude.
man.
Side note, I think he'd be an insane podcast guest because I've seen his home setup and it is wild. He has like such an insane setup, so
You
he'd be
think we should
ready.
go for
He'd
it?
be ready for that kind of thing. Oh man, I don't know. I mean, it'd
Oh,
be
he
dope
is
to have him.
so big, dude.
He's from the UK, so we'd have to like work out a schedule. But actually, I'd love to talk to him one day. I think it'd be cool.
My gosh, yeah. I just opened up his Twitter and his Verge is, yeah, his desk is insane.
Yeah, he is an insanely awesome setup. So
I like that. That's perfect. Good for him. All right, let's get into his article. So it's about Destiny 2. So Destiny 2 is back online after a 20-hour downtime due to a faulty patch. Did you hear anything about this? Because I think I did on Twitter. I
yeah,
saw Destiny 2 trending, but I didn't know why.
yeah. I mean, I saw it too, and I think I mentioned before one of my good friends. He loves Destiny 2 and still plays it pretty often.
Yeah.
So like he was like, when we talked about it, he's like, oh yeah, trust me, I'm already aware. Like it's down.
So, all right, let's get into it. So, Destiny 2 was forced offline for 20 hours after Bungie, the creator of Halos and Marathon, um, shout out Bungie, I love that company. So, after Bungie issued a faulty patch that caused issues for players, Bungie issued a regular game patch to tweak Destiny 2 Sandbox on Tuesday. But many players quickly realized the game had deleted certain triumphs, seals, and catalysts. Bungie has now fixed the issue and it's rolling it back to the servers. So Bungie brought Destiny 2 offline to investigate the issue at 2 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, 2 hours after the patch was first released. So after hours of testing and investigation, Bungie confirmed it will be rolling back all player accounts to their status at 8:20 a.m. Pacific time. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, right.
That they have like everybody's profiles, all their stuff, all saved.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
live action. That's like live service game right
yeah,
there.
it's kind
That's
of
true
crazy,
live
right?
service.
Dude, it's like, and the only downside obviously is like people if they played in like that 2 hour or so window, they lost progression. But I mean, it was only
Mhm.
2 hours, so I feel like the damage is pretty minimal. If I had to say, I mean, I think it's kind of early too, so it's at a low player count time, I would presume.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So, the reason why they chose 8:20 a.m. Pacific time is it's 40 minutes before the patch, meaning any progress just before the patch and 2 hours after will be lost. Players that earn loot by completing weekly raids, dungeons, bounties, and other content will need to replay the activities once servers are back online. And the Destiny 2 servers are now back online. Bungie has issued the 6.3.0.6 patch. Jeez. And it says that it has resolved the issue causing progression loss for certain triumph seals and catalysts. So if I'm like, so you lose what, 2 hours of your time? Because like,
Yeah,
if you did all that progress before the patch and then shortly afterwards, it's all wiped clean. I mean, I don't think that's that big of a deal.
yeah,
If you lose a bunch of triumph seals, catalysts, how many days worth of stuff is that?
yeah. I
You
mean,
know?
that's the thing. They definitely called it early, which is good. They're paying attention and and listening to the
Oh yeah.
community kind of thing. Live service game. But like I mean, yeah, so it's very obvious. The biggest thing, and so I hearing this statistic, I was unable to confirm the accuracy of this number. But when I read it, I was like, is this actually real? Like so I just read it. Destiny 2 is a popular looter shooter from Bungie that has around 800,000 players logging in each day across all platforms. Dude, that's a lot of players, man. Like
I
PC,
believe it, dude.
I mean, yeah,
I really believe it.
and oddly enough, when I look at Steam charts, it wasn't even that much. I want to say it was like 70K or something. It may be more, a little more now. I know last month it was pretty low. It was like 40K, which still a decent amount. Um, but but yeah, I mean,
But
it surprised me. Like yeah, most of these, it would make sense though that most of these players are on console. Um,
oh yeah.
so
Oh,
considering the
there are people.
game, Destiny 1 was console exclusive, remember? If you remember,
Yeah.
so it makes sense.
There are there are people that I never thought would ever play video games who play Destiny 2.
Yeah,
Like people I went to work with, they had an entire raiding like team and squad that they would like group up together and go raid whenever a new
yeah,
segment would come out. Any new DLC, they always
yeah,
bought it. It's like Destiny 2 is wildly successful.
yeah.
Wildly
Dude, I
successful.
remember playing Destiny 1. I think it was like a senior in high school, bro. It was like I had a lot of good gaming memories at the time, but like I created a lot of good gaming memories with Destiny 1, so it's
That's
like
always the best ones too, when you can always just have fond
do like
memories of an
raids and
old game.
stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
so much fun. So yeah, dude. I mean, Destiny's an awesome game. I've logged a decent amount of hours into two, especially when it first came out, kind of thing. So
Mhm.
um yeah, but yeah, still very very active player base, which makes sense. And I think it I think there's validity behind this player count considering how quickly Bungie acted upon this fix, like getting this right. I mean, it took 20
Yeah.
hours, but they could have like had it up for 20 hours and not realize something was wrong, and then you lose a whole day of progress for a lot of people. Um, so yeah, definitely could have been way worse. But and also another side note too, I saw Bungie posted a thread on Twitter about what exactly happened, so there was like full
That's so
transparency.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
so they
Bungie,
they
dude.
said like, so this is what happened. Here's a full thread about like what we did to fix it, what exactly the issue was, and it's like they were fully transparent about it. So it's good.
Dude,
That's good. That's a good dev right there.
I miss that so much. I used to read the Destiny, like not Destiny, the Bungie.net blogs when they were doing Halo 2, Halo 3, and the progression of it, doing weekly, sometimes monthly blog showcases in the community. I'm like, this is such a good dev, man.
No,
They're like
for real.
so transparent. They explain everything. Don't get me wrong, Destiny 1 had probably marketing error. The
Yeah,
campaign, the story didn't make much sense in a lot of ways.
yeah,
But I think they figured out they lost their path only to be found again, you know?
yeah. I mean, the games,
We gotta
Destiny
get on
1.
Destiny 2, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, dude, Destiny 1 had a lackluster story, if I remember correctly. But
It's yeah.
I can't get over the world. It's like the world and the environments are just like it's just like nothing you've ever seen. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, how many times have you and I talked about how, like, the game just runs so
It
smoothly?
does, man. Bro,
It, like
this is
such a good game.
2017. right? I think the beta
Yeah.
came out in 2017.
Yeah.
A lot of games, like PUBG was the most popular game on PC at the time, and it ran like trash because it's just like it
That's a
wasn't
fact.
optimized. It was like a beta, like it just wasn't that good. It was early access. But then like Destiny 2 comes along, and it's like a dev that put serious polish into the game, and it ran like butter on my PC. Like it's just
Every time, dude.
it's insane.
1440p, like 120 hertz,
Yeah,
144 hertz, all graphics up.
yeah,
It's like I got a 2070 Super. I was not struggling.
yeah,
Look at the
dude.
utilization, 60%. Oh my gosh, that's
Um,
nothing. I could stream this game.
yeah, it's crazy when a game is actually like developed properly. How
Oh
like it's
yeah,
how game changing it is for the
so
player.
nice.
So yeah, it's crazy, man.
But
Destiny
yeah,
2 props.
big props. So I think that pretty much wraps up this week. Um, dang, we're right about the hour mark. Look at that. Some things I do want
Dang.
to mention that we didn't feel was like necessary for an article breakdown of um, is one, the PS5 DualSense Edge controller came out today. You can only
Yeah.
buy it on
Oh
the
yeah.
PlayStation Store. I purchased mine today. There's also GoldenEye 007, old school GoldenEye 007 from N64 days. It's coming to Xbox. So, and
Oh
Nintendo Switch.
baby. Oh
January
yeah.
27th. That is gonna be nuts. It's gonna be on the Game Pass too.
Yeah.
Very excited. It has split screen on that. It's gonna be cool, man.
For sure.
I think those are probably the main stories going on. I think next week we're gonna dive in for the new games that are coming out
Yeah.
for
For
the
sure.
month of February.
Yeah.
Was there anything you know or remember?
So there's some things I want to mention. First of all, you get that new
Mhm.
controller. I expect a review on the show whenever you get that
Oh yeah,
controller.
yeah, easily,
Maybe even a
easily.
new scene being made to blow up your camera so we can really see the detail.
Yeah,
So
that's
we'll
fun.
see. We'll see. Um, yeah. So I'd love to hear about the controller, but also, just real quick, Forspoken also came out this week. For those that don't know, we
That's
talked
right.
about it before. The PC specs were insane. Um, and it seems from a review perspective, a lot of people I saw on Twitter, and reviewers and stuff were like bashing they were bashing the dialogue of the game and saying it was like very kind of like
Yeah,
clunky and just didn't really make sense. I also saw a lot of people though on the other side of the coin saying that it's a very fun game and like they're enjoying it even though a lot of people are bashing certain aspects of it. They said they're still having fun with it. The Metacritic score right now, I mean, I'm just gonna open it up real quick, but it's from like a so on the PS5 is like really where we have the scores. I mean, we're looking at a 67 right now, which is like very heavily mixed in terms of reviews. It's like
yeah.
it's kind of split. And the critic reviews, there's only like 5 like seriously negative reviews, and then the rest, out of like 72 reviews, only 5 are like seriously negative, and then the rest, majority of them were either mixed or positive. So it seems like it's a very like kind of divisive game. The user reviews though, it did get a little bombed. I can't lie. We're talking about a 3.9 out of 10 on the user
Ooh,
reviews.
out of
139.
10.
Yes, that's a 3.6 out of 10. So, and we're talking about 139 negative posts against the game. Only 17 mixed and actually 87 positive. So it's not like too far behind, I guess, the negative amount. But it seems for the most part, it's a very divisive game, which is interesting. But yeah, that's what I see.
Well, yeah, I saw a couple of tweets going viral off of people making fun of the narration, I guess,
Oh.
and the entire dialogue. It didn't look that bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looked like a cheesy high school drama show.
No.
But it's like, come on, man, the gameplay looks pretty sick. You're flying around and using magic. What's the problem?
Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
mean, it seems like there's redeeming qualities, although some people don't like it. So
yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
that's Forspoken.
yeah, I think that's really I think that's all the news we really have for this week, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't think there's too much else I wanted to cover. Yeah, pretty good job, I think.
Oh yeah, Naughty Dog is over the Uncharted series and they don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah, I
They
saw
don't
like
build it anymore.
Neil Druckmann did some like interview and he was just like, no, I think the series is done. And then they was like talking about Last of Us. They were like, we don't even have to do Last of Us 3. Like, so we could probably hang that up too. And so there's a ton of people
He
that are
might be
like
trolling.
there's a ton of people that are just like, dude, they have to do a part 3. So we'll see.
Oh yeah, there's a
Um,
whole TV series coming out.
yeah. Um,
Come on now.
Yeah, and if they want to follow canon, because if they do a second season, which its first season's doing pretty well so far, even though we're only 2 episodes in, so I anticipate a second season will probably come. If that's the case, it'll probably follow close to the games again, and then if they want to do a third one, they'll have a part 3 out before that even happens. So we'll see.
Facts, yeah. it'll be good. But I think we gave the people what they wanted. Shall we let them go?
Think so.
All right, cool. So we appreciate you guys for tuning in. This has been episode 3, season 4 of the M2 podcast. Shout out E United. I know you're pulling out the jersey, Mr.
Rest in
Kyle
peace.
Heath. For now,
Peace.
they could
For
they could
now.
be revived.
We'll come back.
Gotta have hope. Whatever
Facts.
their logo.
True. True.
All right, thank you all for tuning in. If you want to see all the descriptions, if you want to see all the links for yourself, all the articles that we've been covering, links are in the description below. We have a Discord. We now have a Twitter specifically for the podcast that we're going to be posting on more
True.
regularly. So definitely get on board. Follow, please. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll try and leave a link in the description, of course, to that. And we'll try and start posting from there for announcements. Probably still like retweet from my own account, but always post in there.
Gotta let the homies know. All right, we appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace out.
Bye, everyone. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
See ya.